It was our mindset that connected.
Yes.
And a lot of the struggles and obstacles that we overcame, they were in alignment. We both grew up in different countries. We had different lives, but a lot of the mindset of what pulled us through those obstacles, I feel like we connected. No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah!
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids,
and everything in between.
The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Quote by Pablo Picasso. If you play together, you pray together, you stay together.
Welcome to the Pretty and Punk Podcast. My name is Dan Caldwell, and I'm here. You were supposed to say it.
I'm waiting for you to call me beautiful.
And I'm here with my beautiful wife,
Ildiko Ferenczi.
Okay, in case you didn't know. And we have another great podcast for you lined up. There's a huge dead air at the beginning of our entrance there. It's okay. We'll fix it. And we have a great podcast today. But before we jump into it, first, if you haven't subscribed to the Pretty and Punk Podcast, please hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit that little bell so you can be notified when we have new podcasts hit the YouTube. If you're not subscribed, we're on all the podcast platforms that you listen to.
All the links are below. They're listed in the show notes. And join our community, because this is a community Dan and I needed when there just wasn't one for us to find. So join our community. You can lean on us. We love you guys.
And be sure to follow us at the Pretty and Punk Podcast on Instagram. I think it's the
links are all below.
Yeah, just check the links below. We're horrible at that part. But yeah, it's a great podcast. I think we had some good discussions about this before we jumped on. Yeah,
we had a talk, Dan and I, and we were just really thinking about our relationship, and we've had a lot of ups and downs, let's be honest. But there are some key things, and not just three, but we wanted to pull three important things that bond us together like glue. And this mindset, these commonality, these three pillars were something that we saw in each other from the beginning of our relationship, when we became friends.
Well, I think it's what attracted us to each other. It's our beliefs. So it's not necessarily what you do as a couple or the things that you incorporate into your marriage. It's more of those beliefs that I feel like you need going into a marriage so that a marriage will work, so that it works. Because if you don't see eye to eye on certain things, on the beliefs that you stand on, I think you're going to have a really hard time in a long-term relationship.
That's right. And what was the first thing that we
Well, I think the big thing was having a common purpose. Mm-hmm. I think that from the beginning, I mean, obviously we were both entrepreneurs when we met. I think it's what attracted you. Were a strong female entrepreneur. You were way out of my league when I met you. And of course, you were chasing me around.
Stop.
And,
don't lie. Don't lie now.
And
let's be honest.
I just thought that, like this is the type of person I want to be with. I want to be with somebody who I can have conversations at the dinner table with, even though I don't know how we've tried to limit those as much as we can sometimes, and have regular conversations too. But I love talking business with you.
It was our mindset that connected.
Yes.
And a lot of the struggles and obstacles that we overcame, they were in alignment. We both grew up in different countries. We had different lives, but a lot of the mindset of what pulled us through those obstacles, I feel like we connected very tightly. Like, we became best friends before anything. So I know he says that I was chasing him around. That's not true. He wanted to meet me for the longest time. But no, but listen. I was not going to go and jump into something that I wanted to take my time. And I feel like a lot of overachievers, high performance businessmen, I think they respect that in a woman. And that's my mindset. I'm valuable. I'm going to wait. I'm going to take it slow. I'm not going to jump in bed with anybody. I'm not going to be kissing nobody in the beginning. It's not going to happen overnight. I want to build a friendship before anything.
I thought you were just playing hard to get.
No.
Like, I don't think we were actually boyfriend and girlfriend for
like
6 months,
long
probably,
time.
or 7, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Well, I know our first real date as boyfriend and girlfriend was the Super Bowl. So that's like in end of January or February or beginning of February there. So yes, and we met in like July.
But we took our time,
talked in
and
July.
you respected me as a woman, as a businesswoman, and my dreams and my aspirations, and I did the same for you. So mindset was a huge part of that common
and that common purpose. And I think having that same why, that why that we had together.
Yeah.
Why are we doing what we're doing?
And our goals together, that was really important. Once we started dating, we realized that we wanted to build something together. We didn't know what it was, but we wanted to build something together that was going to
And we talked about that a lot.
Change the world.
Because you had your thing
right.
and I had my thing.
Right.
And what was kind of, in a weird way, in an eerie way, we were both getting out of our things.
Right.
And so it was almost like perfect timing, like God's will, that we had this perfect timing to meet each other. And because we had the opportunity to have a common purpose together. Don't cry. You're going to make me. What are you doing to me? What are you doing? Don't look at me like that. And like any
just makes
good
me emotional.
team,
how it all together.
Baseball team or football team, when you have a common purpose together, you're so much stronger. What was the analogy you had for the horses thing? You had we were talking about it last week.
We were so strong on our own, and those race horses, they could pull a lot of weight by themselves. Don't get me wrong, they're powerful. But when you set them side by side and you give them that same weight, they could pull more than that, 10x that.
Yeah, they can pull like 7, I think it's 7x their weight, or 7x the weight that they can pull by themselves.
Hey, but you and I together, we can 10x it together.
Absolutely.
And I felt that, and I knew that, and everybody saw that within us. So we were looking for something to do together. So the goal, that was so important. And now with this podcast, it's crazy how it all came together. Like in the hardest part of our lives, it just, boom, so easily. God was like, here you go. This is it. This is the thing that you guys can do together.
Absolutely.
Other than the businesses we did together. But I feel like both of us, we really enjoy sparking something in our audience, all around the world. We love touching people all around the world, bringing people together, saving marriages. I don't even know how to put it into words.
Well,
but I feel like
I think
this
that
is
every
the
marriage needs some version of that.
It doesn't have to be a podcast, but you guys got to find that thing, whatever it is. It took us years to figure it out. Also, what about health? I mean, we had that in common as well.
That's true.
That was a common purpose.
We both wanted to eat. And I think you kind of, even in some ways, someone can pull you over to their side. Maybe I didn't. I've always wanted to be healthy and eat healthy and work out, but I think you brought me into that world even deeper, and which was a good thing. It's like you can have those things where your purposes are aligned, but you may be deeper down that rabbit hole than I was.
Right.
And I find my way over there because I want to be there.
Yeah.
I want to be there with you. We want to have our purposes aligned together.
Yeah, that was exciting, building our health journey together. And then the other thing that is important for us now we're in a different part of our lives where we pour into our children. And I feel we have a very same vision for our family, for our children, and including them on that health journey, being very, I mean, they don't see it as strict, but it's how we brought them up. And I'm no slipping. I just want whole foods, healthy, and especially dealing with my health struggle when I was on the cover of magazines and, you were looking the best and just it could have been any one of us, Dan. It could have been any one of us. And I see it happening to our friends, but I happen to get, sick.
Yeah.
I don't even like to talk about it, but it's an eye opener and you learn from it. And it just made me want to pour into my children and my family that much more. Like I will literally spend so much more time in the kitchen knowing that everybody is going to benefit from the food that goes, the body. It's our temple. The temple.
We are what we eat.
Yeah.
And I think that's important that you and I appreciate, and I think I tell you, and I told you today, I appreciate when you make food like that because it not only does it taste great, but it really, I think we feel better when you eat better, and you've always done that.
Right,
well.
And our audience can study it a little. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love studying how just cooking from scratch, everything that you can do as naturally as possible. I want to go back to my grandmother's ways. They had a farm and they had a business together with my grandfather. And if you can just study a little bit about what clean, whole food does for you and your body, you can literally heal so many things that are going on that you may be dealing with. So that's another podcast in itself.
Bone broth, bone marrow. I'd never had this stuff before. First time I ever saw you scooping that stuff out of the middle of a bone, I almost lost my mind. But I just never seen anything like that before. But I get it now. And going down that rabbit hole and studying and looking at some of the things you're looking at, watching some of the videos together, I know that we're aligned in our purpose there.
And you look so much younger.
Really?
I made you young.
I'll take that.
Okay,
what was the next one?
Okay, so number 2, guys, is aligned principles. And this is also something that has to come up in the beginning. I mean, what about your faith? You guys have to have somewhat of a parallel faith. I mean, it has to be. If you believe in God, it's just going to be easier if you both believe in God.
Yes.
Right? If you have a faith and you're on that journey together.
Oh, yeah. If you're going different directions, there's no way that, how are you guys going to stay together if you're going in different directions in as far as faith goes? And there's probably so many, even in, if one person's a crook and the other person's not, if one person's doing drugs and the other person's not, it's
exactly.
like all those principles that you hold dear to you, if you guys are not aligned
you need to identify that in the very beginning.
It's not going to work.
It could, but it's going to be hard. If someone's an alcoholic and the other one's not, that's going to be a hard road. I can't see it working. I know for us, thank God that we don't have any of those things. But when you or I are struggling with something, it's easier to get back up here.
Yeah, I see relationships. There's a lot of relationships out there where one of the partners is trying to fix the other side.
Yeah, that's
maybe there's a drug problem or whatever the problem might be. Or they thinking, I know they're not religious, but I'm going to try to make them religious. That's a really hard thing to tackle in a relationship. And not to say that it can't work.
But they have to be willing.
But it's absolutely. And if they're not, you're basically gambling whether it's going to work or not. Bye, beautiful.
Thank you, Mama.
and you're kind of gambling whether that's going to work or not. You're hoping it's going to work, and you think because you love each other, I mean, maybe it's worth trying, but I would try to work those things out before you get married, because once you get married, it's really hard to unravel I mean, it's like, I know people just now, divorces, like they just check in, go file the paperwork, call the attorney,
Right.
get a divorce. But still, if you have kids, there's other people involved, there's things involved, there's money involved, there's all kinds of things that are involved. And it's just better working that out before you get married.
Yeah, 1,000%. And work ethic too, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean,
That's another one.
if one person just if one side loves to watch, isn't going to be talked out of football every single game, and isn't going to be talked out, and the other side is hungry and doesn't watch TV.
I can't be with a lazy.
Could you imagine if I was a TV watcher all the time?
No, gosh, no.
I mean, you would definitely you'd be all over me for sure.
You couldn't.
you'd
I
have
think
my
that's
head.
just the way that I grew up. My mom was just so go, 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 go. And it has its downsides, right?
Yeah.
Because you can overwork yourself, but I definitely need someone very driven, and you too.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be the same way. I would if you weren't, if you didn't. I mean, not that I don't. So don't take this wrong. I don't think that you need to take care of the house, but you do take care of the house, and you take care of the kids, and I help too. I do that stuff too. But I would say that you
can
take
help
on
more. But I do. This is something I
What are you
want.
trying to say there?
I want to
do
take
help.
this on myself because I am such a perfectionist that I've hired so many people, and I clean way better. Like I do the white glove test. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'll do this myself. Like, what is it? $900?
We can't seem to keep
I'll do it
housekeepers
myself. I'll do it
employed
myself. This
over
is
here.
not. No, I'm perfectionist. I'll do it myself. I enjoy doing it.
We found a couple good teams.
But my mom, what did she do? What was her first job when she came to Canada? She was a housekeeper for very wealthy people. I want to put their names out there, but I can't because she worked for very wealthy people. She got beautiful gifts, and she did immaculate work. And she taught me how to clean things. I don't cross-contaminate. I do everything perfect. And when you're dealing with that kind of client, they watch everything. And I think that's why we were so good with the architectural concrete company. Even little things like our crew, I would say, do not lean on the walls. You know how guys like to lean on the walls? Mm-hmm. And the women, the housewives would be like, he's leaning on my wall. His dirty hand is on my wall. Yeah. I would have these discussions that are like, really, do they care? I'm like, yes, they care. All these little things. Anyway, the totally different topic, but I love that just those little things made us the top of the pick, top of the pick in that industry.
And I think in principles too, there's other things that we don't have a problem with or anything, but like, I'm not going out to the club, or I'm not, I'm not going to strip clubs or anything like that. And I think that there's people out there that could be dealing with that in their marriage. It's like, the husband thinks it's okay to, I'm going to go to the bar every Friday and Saturday night, or the wife thinks that she wants to go out with her friends. And, we don't have that problem because we're definitely see eye to eye on those things.
Yeah. Or when we do events, I feel like we have this agreement where we're here to network. We're here to inspire people. We're here to touch people. We'll do the red carpet. We'll stay for a certain amount of time, 30 minutes, an hour, but we're not here to party and get crazy. We don't drink.
Yeah.
We'll switch out the drinks for water.
Yeah,
especially after the baby. I haven't had a drink since Daniel was born. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of a glass of wine here and there, but
but you're not a drinker,
I'm not a drinker,
and you're not like, I gotta stay, I gotta talk to everybody, no.
Yeah, no, I'm good, and those are our aligned principles, and that's why I think when you have aligned principles, it's an unspoken word. You don't have to say it to each other.
No, we
don't.
already
We
know.
just give each other that look, like let's go.
Time to go.
Yeah, let's get out of here. and I think with our kids, I mean, there's not much that we don't. I mean, there may be some things where I am a little stricter about, and there's things that you're a little stricter about.
Right.
But we're on the same page.
We're on the same page. Yeah, I feel that's important.
So what was the last thing we came up with?
The very last thing, and I feel like that for me, I feel this is very important.
Was there another thing? Because those are two pretty important things.
It's our lifestyle, having shared lifestyle and hobbies.
Oh, okay.
And I feel that that's something that we enjoy doing things together. I feel like
I definitely said I like Star Wars, and if if you didn't like Star Wars, you just wouldn't be marriage material.
But right, exactly. So if we can do things and like things and be passionate about things together, that bonds you like glue. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can't think of anything that I mean, I think there's things that I curved you into a little bit. Like you liked going, I think you loved Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But I dragged you to Comic-Con too. I was like, we have to go to Comic-Con.
I like experiencing new things because that's what life is about. Trying different things, trying different foods, trying different cultures, learning about different people and things. So I'm very open minded.
What's something that I do that you don't like? Well, you don't like chess.
No, I do like chess. I do like chess.
Yeah, but you're not like
running
to go play chess with me.
I'm not obsessed with it, but I like it. It's challenging. I like it for you. I just don't have as much time to do it.
Fighting? Jiu-jitsu?
I think
you like watching jiu-jitsu with me.
I like watching it. I just don't want you coming home with fungus toes and all that. Like that just kind of grosses me out. Like, let me check out the gym, make sure it's top of the line, and then we're okay. But I don't want you to go to
Don't put that out there. We're on a podcast.
He doesn't have that, but that would be my worst nightmare if he went to a dodgy gym and practiced there. Like that would not be fun. That would not be in my alignment.
Okay, so but in those types of things, we're mostly aligned, right?
Listen, I didn't even know what a tap out was. So you kind of showed me that world, and it was weird because there's this elegant, classy woman coming in with you. And I remember Dana White going, "Who's this chick with
What are you talking about?
Were looking at me
up my alley. All the women I dated.
Come on, let's be honest. Okay, anyway,
beautiful.
His past life is his past life.
So here's the thing. But you'd been to a UFC before I met you. So
Yeah.
So I would say that, like, in a lot of ways, we were always,
year.
I mean, the first thing I took you, when we went to the Super Bowl, you enjoyed that. When we went to, right out the gate, I took you to Tony Robbins, and you were super excited about that. I think you liked it more than I did.
Oh, I loved it.
That second Tony Robbins we went to, I had to leave, and you didn't want to leave. You stayed.
I stayed by myself.
It was a 3-day event. I think I went for 2-day or 4-day event, and I went for 2 days, and then I had to go to Afghanistan for a military thing that we were doing out there, we were bringing fighters out to Afghanistan.
I was actually really upset that you left because I feel like that was such a huge. I wish you would have stayed. I mean, we could do that.
I wanted to stay too.
I wanted to go to Afghanistan with you, but this was, I feel it was more important for what I needed in my life. I was going through such a hard time, and it was so incredible. And the people there were amazing. We were, forever we're VIP because of the
If you saw where we were sleeping, you probably would not have. You would have been very happy you stayed in Florida.
We're forever VIP because Dan did a infomercial with Tony Robbins. So Tony Robbins keeps him very dear to his heart. So we could go to any event, and we were in VIP. I met Jim Quick, who is a wonderful friend of ours, and just so many. It's just, I don't know how to explain it other than there were just so many amazing people there, and it really did change my life, and it challenged me to pray and wish for something that was impossible. And they told me I wasn't ever going to have a baby, and that it would cost me maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I challenged God, and I wrote this letter to my unborn child, the child that I wished for, the child that was going to become a part of my life, change the world. It's so crazy.
And then God
letter.
sent
and
me.
And then now, yeah.
Hey, I participated in that whole thing too.
I can't believe it, how that played out.
But I mean, I would say that we both love doing those types of things together. And I can't really think of anything that specifically...
Well, like sports, I like any sport because they're the mindset, the people that are pushing, that are fighting for what they believe in, the fighters, the football players. And then in Tony, I was brought up to push myself, to surround myself with people that are better than me. I want to learn from people that are better than me.
Yeah.
Always and forever. I'm never going to say, oh, no, that's not how it is. Let me learn what you have to teach me. I want to learn as much as I can. And whatever works and you're like that too, whatever works for us, we'll keep that. What doesn't work, I respect that it works for you. But I will forever be learning.
Yeah.
Forever. I think you too. We love to learn.
And that said, we're going to go to a fight soon. We're going to the BKFC. Let's see, how do we say this?
We can't say too much with the reality show and all that.
Well, we're owners in the BKFC, so. But that said, we're just really enjoying.
I'm so excited for you.
All the stuff.
It's weird. It's
that
crazy.
We're working on together.
But can I just say, it's crazy how the stars aligned and brought us to that journey.
Well,
and here you are. And here we are.
And here we are.
And here we are.
We're married and we're chugging along. Everything is, I mean, it's not always perfect.
No.
Please let me be very clear.
But we're fighting for the same goal. We're fighting for the same purpose.
That's
and
what
we're in this together.
I love to say
we're in this together.
That whenever we have a disagreement, that one of us are going to say that we're on the same team.
Right.
And that usually kind of puts us on the same page together.
Right. And if you're not, how do you build an empire together? How do you build a beautiful legacy? And how do you teach your little ones to just live the best life ever?
Well, that's
your
legacy. Those little ones are your legacy. Mm-hmm. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us for the Pretty and Punk podcast. If you thought there was something in here that might help somebody or somebody might identify with, please share this podcast with them. And we appreciate your likes and subscribes and for following us and your support. And if you could please leave a comment. We love sharing those with our kids. Yes. We read them every night at the dinner table, and they absolutely love hearing them. So, anything else before we jump off?
No, I think that was a great podcast, and I hope that touched someone out there and just sparked something within them.
I love talking these things out. I mean, we talk about it another time, but I think we really get a little deeper together when we sit down here and talk on the microphone.
I feel like it connects us, and this is our thing. This is our thing, and I encourage you guys to find your thing, whatever that is, that gets you giddy inside, that brings you closer together, that just creates this warmness and changes the world in some way. Maybe it's a charity. Maybe, I don't know what it is. Pray for it. Pray for it. It's going to come to you guys. God bless you, and we will see you next week.
See you on the next one.
Thank you for listening. I hope that changed your life. God bless. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to the Pretty and Punk podcast. We love you.